Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe. Now let's get on with today's show. Many self-published authors seem enamored with getting mass distribution, also known as wide distribution, for their books, and they want it now. I understand, sort of. We all want our books to be accepted and purchased by our target audiences as soon as possible after publishing. But I also understand how difficult that can be to achieve. Authors may feel that their books, missions, or messages are extremely urgent. This is especially a problem with nonfiction. They believe that the change they wish to see in the world is critical to the future as they define it. Others realize that there is a unique and possibly closing window of opportunity to get their words out into the world, either due to current events, public sentiment and tastes, or their own personal time-sensitive goals. Emotionally motivated by their mission, they want wide distribution for their books. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. All authors want that. But the problem is that they usually have no audience for their work because they're first-time authors with no fan base. Now that they've made the decision to publish, they're stunned at what it could take to get the distribution level that they really want. First, we have to define what is meant by wide or mass distribution. And I'm guessing that authors who say they want it don't really know what they mean by it. Here's what it could mean. Some authors think that having their book available in a retail setting, which is a bookstore or Walmart, etc., means wide distribution. Multiple problems here. One, just because it's in retail, even in a physical bookstore, doesn't mean it will sell. Second, getting a self-published book in brick-and-mortar retail is next to impossible. Lastly, with more and more sales of books and everything occurring online, these see-it-in-the-store dreams are just nostalgia for a different retail reality that is becoming obsolete. I'm always concerned when I look at self-publishing platforms that advertise your book will be available through, and usually it's followed by a whole host of logos of book-selling sites. This is especially the case for ebooks. Don't equate available through with sales will be coming from. According to a Bloomberg article from 2019, Amazon sells 88.9% of ebooks. Given that stat, how interested are you in having your ebook available through these other non-Amazon sites? Additionally, if your book or ebook is sold through any channel other than where you self-publish the book, it would be considered expanded distribution. While the sale will be made, you might not make that much money. In expanded distribution, there are more channels, all of which will take a cut. This reduces your royalties, sometimes to almost nothing. Some authors want high volume sales. How high? High enough to earn a bestseller status on a list such as that for the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal? That could mean tens of thousands of copies sold. A brand new self-published author with no following and no experience has the proverbial snowball's chance in hell of this happening, especially within a short period of time, like a year. It might be possible with a massive investment measured in thousands of dollars, like several thousand, in advertising for the book, but even that's no guarantee. Some authors think that getting media coverage, such as interviews, appearances, or getting their articles published, would be the key to getting the wide distribution they want for their books. For others, it's an ego or passionate mission thing, and the media attention would help satisfy that longing and their egos. But if I would ask them how they plan to get that coveted media coverage, I'd put money on that they don't have a clue. Getting even the slightest mention in the popular media, such as TV, radio, or newspapers, is quite a feat and may require the assistance of PR or public relations professionals' help and services who have established relationships with media contacts. Media stations and publications are constantly bombarded with press releases and requests for coverage. I can speak to this personally because I was a trade newspaper editor and I got press releases on everything on a daily basis almost. It is unlikely that the media will voluntarily seek out new self-published authors. Again, that kind of media coverage is possible only with a massive investment of time and money in public relations. Even more troubling is that authors often equate wide distribution with their books being appropriate for quote-unquote everyone. Here's where I start rolling my eyes. No book, no matter how interesting the topic is for large segments of the population, is for everyone. This lack of awareness has self-published authors chasing every possible avenue of attention and sales, which can be quite exhausting and expensive. The appeal of creating content, which is a book, a blog, a video, whatever, that goes viral is quite seductive, including for self-published authors. Like viruses for this year's strain of the flu or the pandemic, viral content is that which is widely and wildly distributed from person to person, almost without abating. Going viral is an elusive goal for self-published authors who want wide distribution and sales for their work. Like many biological viruses, viral content can be highly unpredictable. The exact factors that can prompt a groundswell of attention in book sales may be completely uncontrollable. So if going viral is your definition of wide distribution, you're simply hoping and gambling. Aside from being unable to define what they mean by wide distribution, I would venture to say that most self-published authors don't have a clue about what their target mass distribution number is. Hundreds? Thousands? Millions? At this point, it would be good to be reminded that best-selling books on the top bestseller list may only be selling tens of thousands of copies. Plus, most self-published books only sell a few copies a month for most authors. In fact, in my 2016 and 2018 Thorne self-publishing surveys, 73.02% in 2016 and 73.46% in 2018 of the participating authors with one or more books published were making less than $1,000 annually from their books. That cannot mean a high unit volume of sales for most self-published books. So expecting book sales of thousands upon thousands of units, which is challenging for even the most popular books, is unrealistic for most self-published authors. So let's get real with your book distribution expectations. Yes, you want as many people as possible to read and buy your self-published book. I'm not saying not to try. I'm encouraging you to create realistic goals and expectations to avoid disappointment. Here are some reality check questions. Why are you the one to deliver this message? Here's where authors can get delusional, especially those that feel they need to change the world. They're so impassioned that they pursue impossible distribution channels and numbers, which can be financially devastating. Understand the needs and limitations of your author platform or fan base and continually seek to build your thought leadership presence so that you become a sought-after expert that could attract book sales and media attention. Is getting your work distributed widely truly urgent or just your interpretation of urgent? Authors who want to change the world can be the most susceptible to feelings of urgency. They feel that if they just get more distribution, the world will logically and automatically accept their work and take action. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to convert the unconverted since people are illogical beings. And today, people are so overwhelmed with information overload that they can ignore much of what crosses their path. That's why continually building a fan base of like-minded followers and buyers and becoming a thought leader is so critical when self-publishing. Or if your sense of distribution urgency is based more on your own personal goals, such as, I want to become a best-selling author by next year, realize that the world and the market may not share your sense of urgency. Can your goals be accomplished another way? Self-publishing a book is not the only way to achieve ultimate goals, since it can be a long, hard road to riches and encouraging people to change their attitudes and behavior. Could you instead volunteer for your cause or get involved in a community of people who share your passions and ideals? Becoming an author is just one of many paths to making an impact on society. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on whatever podcast platform you like to use. I'm on all the major ones, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you like the YouTube video better, you just have to subscribe to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you get an alert when a new video is available. I would appreciate it if you would share either the audio or the video with your friends on social media. My self-published books are available on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is go to one of those sites, type in my name, Heidi Thorne, and my author page will come up with a list of all available titles. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode, and in the meantime, have a great day.